The Lion of Panjshir. A hero to many Afghans, a man who stood up to bullies, and fought to death to build a better country for his people. A man whose heart beat for liberty and human rights, equality between men and women, respect for Afghanistan and peace for the nation. This is in 2 minutes, and we are indeed talking about Ahmedshah Massoud. He, who never left his country for more comfortable life even though he had money, education and power to do so. He, who never made deals with the devil to accept government positions in exchange of oppression and religious dictatorship for his people. Ahmedshah was born in 1953 in Bazarak, Panjshir, in relatively well-off family. His father was a military commander who was colonel in the Royal Afghan Army. Massoud spent most of his childhood in Kabul, and then attended a Franco-Afghan university to get a degree in engineering. Being a gifted student, he learned French and English very fast and developed skills in poetry as well, in addition to his main field of study. During his youth, he noticed how Soviet-backed, communist oppressive regime killed more than 100,000 people, in and around Kabul. Basically anyone with opposing ideas to communism was met with iron fist. Massoud, who aspired to have a democratic political system for his people, was motivated to fight against the Soviets and their puppeteers in Afghanistan. Ironically, he was heavily influenced by famous guerrilla fighters such as Che Guevara and Mao Zedong, who was a communist himself. Massoud thought of using their tactics, and quickly became an expert in asymmetrical warfare. Massoud also created a popular resistance force in the heart of the capital to inflict damages to the central government through civil disobedience and active street fights against the ruling regime. This, and constant sabotage operations he systematically conducted to cripple the fuel supply to Kabul, completely made the communists frustrated, knowing the fact that the government could not really defeat Massoud in Panjshir Valley, which was Massoud's stronghold, despite military superiority of the communist troops. The situation turned grimmer for the Soviet-backed regime in Afghanistan, after the fall of Soviet Union in 1992, and Afghan communist government had no longer the financial support of their masters in Moscow. They were simply no match for Massoud's motivated and skillful mujahideen, and their eventual fall was not so hard to predict. In mid-January 1992, and the months after, the power was transitioned to Massoud's allied forces, which at the time comprised of many local and tribal leaders from the south and the north. After the victory, Ahmedshah Massoud encountered bigger challenges to reach his vision for his country. Peaceful and strong Afghanistan, ready to prosper, was not exactly an ideal country for Saudi Arabia. Moreover, neighboring Pakistan would be better off having a conflict-torn, proxy country, rather than a strong and united Afghanistan. They poured loads of cash into the country to create division among local tribes despite many efforts by Massoud to call for unity. War grew among the forces of the south and the north, and Massoud was left with a decision. Should he remain in power? Or should he give up his government position in exchange of peace for the nation? Well, a hero he was. He picked the second option, and gave the Pakistani and Saudi-backed Southerners the official power, and he himself remained as the protector of the people. The irony is, those Southerners who desperately wanted to get their hands on power, were pushed away by a more radical fraction of jihadists in 1994, the notorious Taliban. These extremists, sponsored by foreign nations, quickly besieged Kabul, and toppled the central government. The atrocities and cruelties they displayed will always remain as a stain in the history of Afghanistan. In coming the hero again, Massoud tried to save his country by forming a coalition among cultural and political personalities, to reach a lasting agreement, but Taliban was loaded with guns and money assistance they received from their puppeteers, captured Kabul completely, and started their dark reign over the innocent citizens of the capital. In early 2001, Massoud, who was still resisting in the north, tried to warn the world, specifically the United States, of the dangers of radical jihadists ruling his beloved country, and to seek humanitarian aids for his people, but his concerns were not heard by the world leaders. However, this did not make Massoud disappointed in trying to help with every possible way he could. The northern areas under Mas'ud's rule was privileged to experience the society the Lion of Panjshir always dreamed to have for his people. He signed the Declaration of Essentials Rights of Afghan Women, which established gender equality, and right for women to participate in political process, while in the capital, women did not have the right to walk without a male companion outside, let alone education and right to vote. Mas'ud's well-equipped enemies, who could not defeat him fairly in the battlefield, figured of some other dirty and cowardly acts to get rid of him once and for all. Ahmedshah Mas'ud was sadly assassinated on September 9, 2001, 2 days before 9/11, by the same cowards who perpetrated the heinous terror operations in the United States. Hundreds of thousands of people attended his funeral to show respect to a man who left behind a memory of a leader who never left Afghanistan, even though he had several opportunities to choose an easier life for himself. He was later named the Hero of Afghan Nation by the President of Afghanistan, and kept the title of Lion of Panjshir in people's hearts. As always, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and hit the like button if you liked this video.